The Canon EOS 1DS Mark III. Let's talk about it. It's a vintage camera as far as I'm concerned. I know some of you people on threads like to debate, well, that's not a vintage camera, it's from 2007. Yeah, with regards to technology and how fast it moves and the fact that vintage just means of age and there's no specific amount of time attached to it as far as I'm concerned. This is a vintage camera. It was released in 2007, discontinued in 2012. The MSRP was around $8,000 when it was released. And over time, over those last 17 or so years, the price of the camera has come down and down and down given modern innovation and new technological advancements within the camera markets. So, is this still worth it? Does it still output good photographs? And the answer without any hesitation whatsoever is absolutely. This camera produces some of the best images I've seen a camera be able to produce within the last 20 or so years. Now, is it gonna have those features that modern cameras have? No, not at all. But it will have the base functionality that you need to really execute and get one of those good shots that you're ultimately going for and looking for. So, let's dive into the negatives, because there are a few with this camera that might steer you away. The fact that trying to review your images on the LCD is next to impossible. If it looks to be somewhat in focus, it probably is. It's not the highest resolution LCD, so your images will always look a little blurry. And maybe that adds to the film-esque character of this camera, because you never really know what you got until you get home, you upload your photos to your computer, and you review them that way. The LCD is not very good for reviewing, so that is a drawback. The size and the weight of the camera. It's a very large camera, and when you put a lens on it, it's going to be substantially heavier. You can put a small fixed focal length on it to not really add to the weight. I have an 85mm 1.2 USM2 lens on there, which is a substantial lens in and of itself. Paired with this camera, it does become very heavy. It does become a burden to carry around all day. I had to carry this camera around for 10 hours documenting a music festival. Do I regret it? Not at all. Beyond the size, beyond the weight, you're going to have to forego some of those modern, innovative technological features you're used to seeing on most modern cameras today. One of those primary features being video. This is specifically for photographs. There is not a video feature, so if you're looking for video, this is not going to have it. It's not going to be the camera for you. The camera that came out after this, the 5D Mark II as well, they have video. Check out those cameras, the 1DX or the 5D Mark II. If you want a camera similar to this, they are different, but they do have video features. So no video, no modern innovative technological features that you might see. As far as frame bursting goes, you get about 5. There's nothing impressive there. It's loud. The shutter on it, you will hear it. It is not a quiet shutter by any means or any stretch of the imagination. So if you're trying to be discreet and subtle, so that's the noise of letting everybody know you're there. I don't want to get too heavy into the tech specs here because they're not necessarily impressive. It's just a camera that was built in a way back in 2007 when it was released. There was this huge conversation going on around that time. What's better, film or digital? And I think Canon honed in on that conversation and was like, let's produce a digital camera that somewhat replicates the look of film. And I think that's exactly what they got here. They have this digital camera that has this film-ish aesthetic to it, and it makes these images pop a little bit more in a unique way where it doesn't look overly processed and hyper digital the way a lot of modern cameras look today with regards to the images they output. And I think that's one of the coolest things with regards to photography and the direction it's moved in, is it's no longer about the newest, the latest, and greatest camera, but people are really exploring the world of cameras released from all different decades, from all different times, be it film cameras or digital, even pocket-based cameras, little point and shoots, and exploring the types of images they can create with those cameras. Now there's thousands. But identifying a camera that stands out amongst those thousands can be difficult. The Canon EOS 1DS Mark III is that camera for me. Now, if you look at modern images, you'll see a lot of them have almost this glossy look. This camera is going to render out images directly from camera that have more of a matte-esque finish. Obviously, in post-production, you can tweak and manipulate things to basically look however you want. But directly out of camera, when you take the image, it does have this character to it that somewhat resembles a 35mm film-ish image. Obviously, it's digital, 21.1 megapixels on a full-frame CMOS sensor. Play around with this stuff. There's not one camera that's specific to any genre of photography you want to dive into that is the best, per se. I think there are cameras that we all identify with as photographers that we gravitate towards, and we know this is a tool that's going to help me create the images I want to, and I'm excited to shoot with it. And that's what I think is the most important thing when it comes to getting out there and going to shoot. Are you looking at your camera and is it getting you excited to go take the next photograph? If it's not, you might want to be thinking about what is a camera that would get me excited, or maybe just photography's not for you. But if you have that burning desire in you constantly to capture images in different places of different things, of different people, then I would say pick a camera that gets you excited. Forgo some of the modern technology that exists within cameras that drive up the price. You don't need that. But if you think it'll help, if that's what you ultimately gravitate towards, so be it. My battery's about to die, so I'll make this quick. I'm Renton Vlogs, aka TheSuperMediocre. This has been a check-in with the Canon EOS 1DS Mark III. I hope you found this video insightful and somewhat informative, and it helps you in making the decision on if this camera is right for you and helping you produce the images you're trying to create. And as always, in the link in the description down below, you can request access to it, and there are CR2 files you can then download directly out of this camera. There are CR2 files you can download, play around with them in post, and really get a better idea on if this camera is or is not right for you. And that's a wrap. I will talk to you soon, and I hope you have an awesome week. Peace.